I, Flannery Culp, am playing solitaire even as I finish this. Gifted children have always been good at doing two things at a time. And where I am, I've played solitaire so much, it's practically a biorhythm. It helps me think. When I can't tell which of two sentence arrangements sounds better, I just look over at the top of my neatly made bed, where I've laid out the game, and see something. Red 7 on the black 8. Why didn't I see it before? Don't think I'm not aware of the metaphor or of the double negative. In spite of all the hoopla, I did get a diploma. I'm alone here, sitting at this typewriter with my journal propped up to my left and a pile of typewritten papers to my right. I am a woman with a room of her own, just like, what's her name, the writer. I am rereading my journal and typing my life here onto stark white paper. If I make a mistake, I just type back a few letters and write over it. It's one of those typewriters with erasing tape, so whatever I write wrong, I can erase, except for some faint imprints, which will be completely obliterated when I have this copied. Those shreds of misplaced facts and typographical errors will fade and vanish as I ready this to send to publishers. That's metaphorical too. Can I just say something? A rhetorical question. Somebody down the hall is listening loudly to the radio and it is just driving me crazy. It's the station that plays the hits of the nation, which are essentially greeting cards with guitar solos. I hate it. It's so inconsiderate of whoever it is, too. When I play music, and I mostly listen to classical music, like Bach, I play it softly because I'm considerate of other people. I just had to get that off my chest. Right now, I have the suspicion that the Ace of Diamonds is trapped forever, face down, beneath the King of Diamonds, which is sneering at me like juror number 5, and my whole life feels like a similar misshuffle. One more flick of the wrist, and it could have been my math teacher who had been targeted, or some other teacher, Johnny Hand or Millie. The Grand Opera Breakfast Club could have become the important aspect of the Basic 8, and Flora Habstack could have ended up on the Winnie Mopra show saying that we were some club of mad opera lovers rather than babbling about Satanism the way she did. Though, I guess in a slightly different set of circumstances, Flora Habstack could have been one of us and actually known what she was talking about. With a slight shuffle, there could have been somebody else sniffling into a handkerchief on the talk show with a cult investigation citizens action group named after her child. And Mrs. State could have just shook her head as she watched the show instead of participating in it, and then reached over to telephone her son Adam and his new fiancée. Me. Things would be different. While at a bookstore, Adam would tell me to get lost while he bought me a present. I would wander down the uninteresting aisles, gardening, pets, travel and family, true crime. I might glance at some slightly different book, there in this slightly different world, where my love for Adam worked out instead of ending in tragedy. The Basic 6, the Basic 7. But this is not some true crime tell-all. This is my actual journal, with everything I wrote at the time, edited by me. The revisions are minor. I only changed things when I felt I wasn't really thinking something that I wrote at the time, and probably would have thought something else. After all, I was only 18 then. I'm almost 20 now. I learned lots about narrative structure in my honors English classes, so I know what I'm doing. Everyone's names are real, and so are their various nicknames. The radio was just turned up a notch, if you can believe it. By process of elimination, too small, too big, won't stay up with regulation Scotch tape, I have only one picture of the mislabeled murderers, by which I mean my friends, or I'll just say it, the basic 8, that is on my wall. It faces me, and in a rare synchronous moment, everybody is looking at the camera, so everyone is looking right at me. Kate, leaning on an armrest rather than sitting on the couch like a normal human being, placing herself, symbolically in retrospect, above us and looking smug, serving out a 4-year sentence at Yale. Right next to her is V, fingering her pearls. V must have snuck into the bathroom sometime that evening to redo her makeup, because she looks better than anyone else. Better than Natasha, even, and that's saying a lot. Lily and Douglas, snug on the couch. Lily between Douglas and me, as always. Douglas looks impatiently at the camera, waiting to continue whatever it was he was saying. Gabriel, his black hands stark against the white apron, squashed into the end of the couch and looking quite uncomfortable. And there's beautiful Jennifer Rose Milton standing at the couch in a pose that would look awkward for anyone who wasn't as beautiful. And stretched out luxuriously beneath us all, Natasha, one long finger between her lips and batting her eyes at me. I mean the me sitting here typing, not the one in the picture, who's looking right at me too. That's also symbolic. Most of these people won't meet my eyes now, but I'm not one of them. Every morning I get up, and while brushing my teeth, look at my showered self, calmly foaming at the mouth. Take out the photograph now. I hope you can, reader. I want to arrange with the publishers to have a copy of it tucked into each copy of the book for use as a visual aid and as a bookmark. Isn't that a good idea? Look into each of our eyes and try to picture us as people rather than the bloodthirsty mythological figures you've seen on those tacky television shows about bloodthirsty events. Come on, you know you watch them. Will anyone read this introduction? When this is published, with all proceeds by law going to charity, my own introduction will probably be buried among other prefaces and forewords by noted adolescent psychologists, legal authorities, high school principals, and witchcraft experts, all of which will be ignored as readers cut to the chase. There is no getting around it. This is going to be marketed as a trashy book. Most readers will flip through these first pages, half reading as the flight attendants give the safety lecture, and by the time we're all airborne, they will have forgotten them in favor of the actual journal, the real beginning. Perhaps they'll look at my name under the introduction with disdain, expecting apologies, or pleas for pity. I have none here. Perhaps, though, people will read the quote that opens the journal. I chose it from the limited library here to reveal the dim-wittedness of the pop psych gurus who look at people like me. Of course I'm neither fish nor fowl. I'm a real person, like you are. This journal is real. It is the reality of the photograph you're using to mark your place, a photograph that nobody ever got a hold of. It's more real than all those pictures the magazines used. Those were our school pictures taken of us when we were wearing appropriate outfits, smiling for our out-of-state relatives to whom our parents would mail them. What sort of image is that? This journal is the truth, the real truth. This book is as real as it gets. As real as... let me think. As real as the Red Queen I just overturned, or the Black King I smothered with it. Vocabulary: hoopla, narrative structure, metaphorical, adolescent, rhetorical, disdain, atrocities. Study questions. What do you already know about the basic 8? How will it affect what you have read here? Discuss. 2. Most people who keep diaries want to keep them secret. Why do you think this is? 3. If you were to reveal your diary to the general public, would you edit it first? Why or why not? Note, if you do not keep a diary, pretend that you do. 4. It is often said that high school is the best time of one's life. If you have already graduated, was high school the best time of your life? Why or why not? If you have yet to go to high school, how do you think you can prepare yourself to make it the best time in your life? Be specific.